So our topic is understanding performance system. Understanding performance system. Yeah, that's our first topic. And when a topic is like this, understanding, it means they want you to explore many things. And the things we are going to explore is performance and also performance within a system. Your organization is a system that has many systems. You are aware. There is human resources system in your company, there is a payroll system, there is accounting system, there is financial system, there is operation system, there is a legal system, many systems. You are aware? Okay. And your organization itself is a system because it's a company within this city. So it is also a system. But we want to look at a particular system which is performance. Performance. When performance is mentioned, what comes to your mind is delivery. Is it not something like that? What other thing comes to your mind? What other thing comes to your mind? Being what, isn't it? Doing it well, isn't it? Okay. Delivery, ability to deliver. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think can make somebody to deliver in the place of work? To deliver a good job. Now, your work is in human resources. Now, what do you think can make you to deliver a good job so that your immediate boss can say good of you? Because this is where our study starts with. We must know what we are judging, what we are appraising, what we are reviewing, what are those things. So, what will make your boss say, good, you have done a good job? How do you define very well? Very well to somebody may not be very well to another person. How do you define very well? There must be something he's looking at before he says you have done very well. You don't know, you know, you must know. You must know. But let me put question mark on that because you have not answered it. Now, what can make you do that very well? What is in you that can make you do that very well? You are telling me that very well is a result, outcome, product. Is it not what you are telling me? Of what your boss is seeing that makes him to say you have done good or you have done noble. Now, what is in you that makes you to do that well? How do you know what you're doing? What makes you to know what you're doing? If I don't know what to do in that time, I will identify from other persons. The task has been assigned to you. That means you have been assigned a task. What other thing can make you to do a work well? Resources you have. What other things? Teamwork. Being able to ask other persons when I don't know. Teamwork. But teamwork is teamwork. It's not you. Okay, but let me still leave it. But it's not you. Tell me what is in you that can make you to do the work well. You are in HR. What is in you that can make you to do the work well? Because these are the things we appraise. These are the things that comes into the management system, performance management system. They are things we touch, things we feel, things we live with, things we do. They are not abstract. I'm waiting. You didn't tell me your name, did you? My name is Hope Achu. Hope Achu. Hope Achu. Okay, Hope. Good. Achu. Okay. From River State here? Yes, okay. So do I help you? If I help you, you will pay. Eh? You will pay. You will learn. You will learn means you will get, but I didn't get anything. So there are something in you that can make you to do the work well. Those things are, you remember that life is made up of cause and effects. Those things you're showing, telling me you did it well, which you did not put in specific terms, they are called effects. They are called outcomes. They are mostly what people see and say, oh, something that has been done well, something has been achieved. Over time, we even look at the wrong thing. Some of those things people look at when they want to see that organization is doing well is financial books. They are looking at what we call cash flow. They are looking at what they call balance sheet. They are looking at what they call profit and loss account. They are looking at several reports. This is what is being said, seen and said that the work is going well. But what makes the work go well is what I asked you, which you did not give me. Are you getting it? Okay. Let me give you an example. One of them has to do with your ability. One of them has to do with your knowledge of the work. One of them, you got it. It was assigned role to you. One of them has to do with your strengths. It's what you are doing fall within your strengths. Because it is known that if something is within your strength, you will do it far better than what is within your weakness area. Have you heard of strengths and weaknesses? You have heard people saying that this is my strength, this is my weakness. Huh? Yes. Okay. And it has been proven that if people can dwell in their place of strength, they will do far more better than trying to work on their place of weakness. You have heard that? Okay. Now, if you have ability in what you are doing, a very good ability, you will come up with a good result. If you have knowledge of what you are doing very well, you will come up with a good result. If you have knowledge, if it is assigned to you to do, in other words, you may know something, you may have ability to do something, but for the fact that that thing has not been assigned to you, you won't do it. You know that. You know that is normal. Okay. Let me give you an example now. Let's say you're walking on the road and you know how to drive a car and you see a car that is parked and you need to, the owner is sick, you want somebody to carry him up, this and that. Because you have not been assigned as his driver, you know you can't drive the person because it was not determined, it was not said to be your role. So it's not an assigned role. The other point is strength. Okay, you have written strength already before time, eh? And other things that has to come also from the point of support system, like the one you mentioned, resources. Sometimes resources also can come from it, can also come from the other side. Then energy and other things. Now, before I go further, let me mention something also about performance, again, distinct from productivity. Performance is not productivity. You are aware? Okay. Now, performance is, I have said it the other time, that is your ability to deliver results, to do what you are doing well. Now, productivity refers to your product or service ability. What are you producing? To what extent of is what you are producing? And I started by saying that using money to measure those things can be misleading, or using financial books to measure those things may also be misleading. But let's consider where our strength comes from. Let's consider where the things that can make us to perform comes from. Where should we look to ascertain just how robust or capable our organization actually is. What makes organization to perform is in the people who are in the organization, not in the organization. You must have heard that an organization is an artificial creation. Have you heard of that type of statement? That an organization is an artificial creation of the law. Chess rock is an artificial creation of law. What makes it is the people working there. The ability of what they can perform is the ability of individuals who are working there. Did you get that statement? The ability of your organization is the ability of the people working there. The capability of what your organization can do is the capability of different individuals working there. Any day, any of those individuals take a bow, the organization capability is reduced by what that person carries. Did you get my point? You are aware? Okay. Good. Now, if we really want to get results, a good balance sheet, a good profit and loss account, a good profit, we should look deeper, very well, and find the hidden forces that is driving performance. Performance has hidden forces that drive it. That is what I normally teach people, 17 forces that drive performances. 17 forces that drive performances. Now, I'm making a statement now. I said that for us to do a good, as a human resource person you are, for you to do a good work, you should be able to look deeper on the hidden forces that drive performance. And it comes from this cause side. Remember I said the other time that life has cause and effect. Cause is what makes something to happen. What happened is what we call effects. Did you get that grammar? You sure? Okay. Now, a lot of things that happen in organization depends on what we call corporate psych. Corporate psych. You have heard of that word psych? Mind. Have you heard of the word mind? You have heard of mind. Mind means psych. Say it. Say mind is psych. Say it. Good. Why didn't you know that psych means mind? You haven't heard about it. But you hear people say psychology. Have you heard of the word psych? Psychology means study of the mind. You go pay for that too. Now, there is what we call corporate psych. That is, every organization have the way they think. Every organization have mind. The same way individuals have mind. Did you get it? Okay. This is where performance begins. You didn't hear me? This is where performance begins, from the mind. The corporate psyche, the collective consciousness of the organization is what we call the corporate psyche. You know what they call consciousness? What is it? Being alert, being awake. You are conscious that you are in this room now, isn't it? So we say that you are conscious. Assuming you don't know you are in this room now, do you know what happened? It can say that you are not conscious. Do you get that? Okay. Consciousness means awareness. It means being active, being alert to something. But there is something more than conscious. They call it subconscious. You have heard of that word, subconscious. S-U-B, conscious. Subconscious is, I ask you a question, you don't need to think, you answer. For instance, if I ask you your name, you start thinking, it means you are conscious, you are not subconscious. And I will begin to suspect that what you're going to say is not your name. Because I don't expect you to think to say your name. Subconscious is what you do without thinking. That means that thing has become you. If you drive a car, you drive a car. Okay. Now, every person that drives a car, when you get into the car, you don't normally think again. Your hand will merely go to ignition and you start the car, you move. You are not thinking. But the first time you're learning to drive, you are thinking. The instruction they have given you how to drive, the first time you are thinking, let me not make a mistake. I hope this is the way to start it. This is the way to move. Now you are conscious. That means you have not really learned it. By the time when that thing has gone into your subconscious mind, you don't think again before you do it. In that case, they say you have known it. So organization performance comes from this area, corporate side. And it is where organization ultimately performs. The result we get, whether good or bad or ugly, are battered or raised from this corporate side. Now, we will look at what is influencing this zone of deeper strength. What influences it? What influences it are these things. You can pick them down one after the other and read them up, because I have so many things to discuss. Like when I was asking you questions, these are things I expect you to come up with as the things that helps you in your performance. One of them is resilience. Ability to take problems in stride, to bounce back quickly from difficulties or defeats, and change adaptive and resilience. RESILENCE. This in you makes your performance never to be stranded, because you can easily bounce back from any defeats, any mistake, any failure. Did you get that? Number second thing there is confidence. Can you ever do your work well if you don't have confidence? Not possible. You need confidence. These are the things that are you that make you to do your work and say you have done your work very well. Confidence, organizational self-assurance is a belief in organization's ability to perform effectively. There are things you can say my company must always do well. True or false? Okay. Because there are people in your organization that are master in that area, who can deliver in that area. So we call it organizational self-assurance, or you call it confidence. Okay, number 3 is energy level. There is what we call the corporate metabolism vitality, the capacity to do work. Every individual has capacity to do work. It can be low, it can be high. The low it is means you can be doing so much good work. The high it is means you can do a very good work at a very high momentum. Have you heard of the word momentum? You have heard of the word momentum. What is momentum? Did you do science? You didn't do science in school? How did you come across the word momentum? In which environment did you come across the word momentum? Momentum. Force. Environment of force. How force overtake or energy, strong energy. The rate of change of velocity. Have you heard of the word velocity? In science, you are learning many new words, isn't it? Okay. The other thing that can make you to perform well is creativity and innovation. Creativity and innovation. I'm here to give you a classical definition of performance, but I want you to see where it comes from. Okay. Creativity and innovation is point number 4. Now, what does it mean? It means coming up with viable new ideas and implementing fresh approaches. Creativity means bringing something to life what is not there before. Okay. Why innovation is generating that creative idea in a new place or in a new product or in a new process. If what you cannot write, your phone can record it. It's recorded, isn't it? Okay. Now, there is a can-do attitude. Have you heard of that word, can do? I can do it. Now, your boss can give you a work, and if you are the type that don't have I can do attitude, you can say, I cannot do this. You shrug away, you shy away, say, I can't do it. But if you are somebody who say, no matter how it is, I must do this, I can do it. It means you have an attitude that you can always do the work. An attitude that you can always win. A winning attitude. We say that this person has a can-do attitude. So one of the things that can make you do your work well, let me still be using that your word even when it is not correct. Because you're supposed to spell out the well in terms of a high percentage achievement, goal that you achieve. One of the things I wanted you to mention in those times is goals, this and that, but you didn't, but I will yet come into it. So if you have a can-do attitude, your performance can be something else. A can-do attitude is a success-minded bias to go for it and to make things happen. The 6th one is ambition. This is an aspiration level or drive to achieve. You can't do much if you don't have ambition to do. You can't go far if you don't have ambition to go far. Ambition is aspiration level. It's a drive to achieve or to do more. The 7th is hope. Hope is a favorable outlook regarding things to come. Hope is a favorable outlook regarding things to come. Hope is a joyful expectation. Hope is expecting something, a joyful expectation. So if you don't have hope in a thing, definitely that thing cannot be. The other one is happiness. I will spend more time a little on this later. Now, happiness may not make you to do more in your office, but lack of happiness can destroy the work. Think of what I said now. Being happy may not make you to do much, but not being happy can make you to destroy everything. So the tendency is to avoid being unhappy. Happiness may make you not to carry 10 chairs, but being unhappy may make you to destroy 10 chairs. So happiness is a force in performance. And oftentimes when organizations are looking at performances, they don't even bother to know whether their people are happy. And they forgot that their people are the kings, the customer are the queen. For over 20-something years, I started preaching the message that customers are not king, they are queen, but the employees are the kings. When employees are wrongly treated, they rub it on the customer. Do you know that? Do you know that? How did you know that? You know, eh? Okay. Let me tell you one story so that you will know that what I said now is truth. I had, when we were very small, we were in primary school, I used to have, we lived in a yard owned by one woman and a man. The landlady used to have a maid. And the landlady was a very wicked woman. What they call wicked woman. How do I know? She maltreated the maids. She can even spit, she can ask the maid, open your mouth, and they open their mouth. She will spit into their mouth. You can imagine that level of wickedness. But do you know what this maid do? Each time this woman goes to market, the maid will do his son, the little boy he was carrying. That same thing, the mother of the child is doing to her. In other words, the maid is robbing every treatment she receives from her madam, is rubbing it on that child. So who is king and who is queen? Can you see now that the maid is the king while the child is queen? So whatever happened to the maid, he rubs it off the child. And the woman did not know until one day somebody told her that it can be solved. So organization develop performance metrics for measuring these people, do what they call performance evaluation. They evaluate also performances of people. What do they really measure? They measure the outcome of task outcomes. How many of this was produced? If it is an organization that producing things, how many cartons were produced, or how much money was produced, how much was sold, how much is all those things. They also measure behavior. How punctual, how prompt, how effective, what leadership quality, what assisting level, or what they call helping others level, volunteering. They check this in. They also check threats. Threats means things like some attributes that we are inborn. They also supposed to check it, but the issue is to what extent do people have checking this? Now these are some of the things that are being measured. Then who should measure this? Employees' measurement these days are being really canvassed in many quarters to be 360 degrees. But the issue again is canvassing it by 360 degrees means every stakeholder that comes in contact with you has a way of assessing you. For instance, typically, organizations are mostly owned, every organization is owned by 7 persons. Let me give you an example now. Every organization is owned by 7 persons. Now, let me pick every employee. Every employee may be in contact with up to exactly that 7 people. For instance, you are in contact with your immediate boss. You have a peer, somebody doing the same job with you or similar job on the same level with you, maybe in your department or in a sister department with you. Then you have subordinates, you have people under you. You have supplier maybe that you interface. You have customer that you are also interface with. You have a top management also that you also interface. Now, when we are talking of 60 degrees degree measure, we are saying that all of these people will assess you and score you and submit their findings. And you may be lucky. You may be lucky. You don't have any in any of them. But if you have enemy in any of them, that person's report will be less not good like the other was. But what is there is, it is 360 degree measure. It is checking you up. So organization use that. Now again, people have criticized. Okay, people also can use different ways also, like written essay. There are organizations that they give people paper to write what you know about your boss, appraise your boss. There are people also ask the boss to appraise their subordinates. There are those that we call graphic rating scale, which means rate incrementally from last year on, increments. There is behavioral anchor rating scale, which is like add up what happened in critical incident. That is when key behavior that make up the difference. Add it with a graphic rating. And then there is another one called force comparison. And then there is another one called 360 degrees. I didn't put it there, but I have explained it the other side. Now, as expected, all the performance metrics indices can be criticized. Now, why do organizations bother about this system? It is normally tied to performance management system is always tied to improvements, knowing where to improve, knowing where organizations want to improve. Because if organizations do not try to know how they are performing, they may not know where they are to do some work. That is why performance is a very strong issue. If you go to internet, there are people that are management experts. Their specialty is just performance. Performance. How can they help organizations to perform optimum? In fact, too many people flag themselves as performance experts on trying to look ways. Because if you can get organization to be at their optimum point of performance, it is carried. Virtually every organization in Nigeria is underperforming. To tell you how bad it is. Underperforming, underutilization. To get the organization performing up to 10% in Nigeria is a terrible dream. So, performance management systems are usually to encourage improvement, effectiveness, and the appropriate level of controls. To know the appropriate level of control. The word effectiveness, you know the meaning? Do I need to explain it? Okay. Appropriate level of control, you know it, eh? Okay. Now, it is often linked in with corporate strategy and are often derived in order to measure performance against critical success factors. It's often derived in order to measure performance against critical success factors, CSF. Every organization sets what we call CSF, critical success factor. That means beyond this point, we have succeeded. I don't know whether you have heard it, and you suppose, because you are in HR. Your organization must have set some critical factors in different areas. What that means is that if we hit this, we have succeeded in this area. CSF, huh? Can you remember any? Okay. Now, a typical critical success factor can be, organization said that if we can achieve 15% market share, which means MS, 15%. If we can achieve a organization of choice, that means it is critical. If we can achieve labor turnover, staff turnover of less than 5%, that means people are not leaving your organization. This can be critical success factor. Okay. Or if we can finish that project, SMO, LL, whatever, that can be a critical. You set it as a goal. The person that will be teaching you goal setting will tell you how to set goals for performance. Now, let me show you a typical topology. Topology is like a map. It's like a drawing, a diagram that shows you something about something. Look at this. Take a look at this drawing. Performance improvement. Now, pick from one point and see the arrows linking to it for it to perform. Okay, let's look at that performance box. Your eye is there. Can you see that performance box? Eh? Now, for you to perform, now you can see behavior there. Eh? You can see behavior, eh? Yes. That is what is observed. Now, for that performance to be, engagement gave life to it. Eh? And how many things gave life to engagement? Competencies, arousal, and what other thing? Motivation. Now, feelings gave life to motivation and arousal. Emotions gave life to feelings. Attitude gave life to emotion. Three things gave life to attitude: value, belief, social pressure. X. Did you get my point? Now, social pleasure, belief, and values draw value from one point: experience. Another word for experience is what we call nurture. That experience also gave life to skill. Can you see it there? Now, skill gave life to talent. Skill also gave life to abilities. Talent also gave life to abilities. In fact, with this, I have finished my course. With this topology. Study that diagram. With this, everything is gone. So, for you now to perform, see what gives life to it, and see what gives life to what gives life to the other. Eh? Now, that means you can't perform without engagement. Being engaged. Your organization engaged you. Isn't it? Otherwise, they won't be expecting you to perform any work to them. And then engaging you. Three things gave life to that to you. You saw it there. Okay, or you see it there. Now, let's from the other side look at performance. There is something called environment. There is also what we call performance level. Did you remember energy level I told you? You remember energy level when I was explaining the level? Can you see it here? Performance level. Now, organizational level, process level, and result and impact. If you go print out this thing, put it in your office. That is your topology for stop knowing how to what makes you, how you get yourself perform. Huh? Okay. Now, this is the map. Check how many minutes have I taken. Well, let me know whether to stop. How many minutes? Now, let me show you factors that affect this slide is over 300, so I can't. There are plenty for you. There are plenty for you. I will just give you a few. Now, these are performance factors. There is input factor from the employee, which can come from labor, funds, budget, materials, technology, training. And there is an attitude one. Values come from there, goals come from there, targets come from there. These are called driving forces. Those ones are produced by products, services, solutions, clienteles, competencies, improved living satisfaction. These are the products. And these are the things that are outputted. You can see the output. You can see it is shaking or blinking. Yeah, that is the word, blinking. Now, there are things we use in monitoring performance, what we call KPI. You have heard of that word? Yeah. KPI, Key Performance Indicator. Key Performance Indicator. And I said, why is the KPI very important? It is important because clear objectives with effective measures, clear objective of what an employee should be doing, what an employee should be achieving, what an employee should be gotten with effective measure, it can improve staff performance by 30%. Research said that. It is difficult for managers to have effective measure in place unless they know how to monitor staff performance against objective. This is reason for monitoring staff performance. So staff performance should be monitored. The start point of it is that it is necessary to recognize different monitoring methods so that managers can choose the one suitable for him, so as not to be macro-manager. Macro-manager, have you heard of that word, macro-managing? Have you heard of it? Macro-managing is if I'm looking into all that you are doing. It is wrong for me to give you a job to do and I'm looking into everything. We call it macro-managing. Macro-managing. M-A-C-R-O-M-A-N-A-G-I-N-G. You must have heard it before now. So, if we identify monitoring method, the next thing is to identify factors and forces of performance. So there are performance standards, there are performance measurements, there are reporting of progress, and there is quality improvements. My mind is telling me we have passed 1 hour. Okay, but let's look at this. The goal of this is to provide constructive feedback, recognize achievement, and support employee development. By following this step and maintaining a fair and balanced approach, you can write reviews that are helpful and meaningful for a particular employee's growth. Performance appraisal is done with aim in mind to help employee to grow. It is performed with aim in mind to know where organization is suffering a deficiency in course of doing their work, in course of carrying out the organizational work. In performance measure or appraisal, organization take time to discover these things by asking questions and by looking into many things. Now, take time to look at these 17 forces of performance. 17 forces of performance. And copy them down. With this, we can close for understanding performance system. And we'll start the next section. And observe the notes I gave there. Of these 17, 4 cannot be achieved without attitude. 2 of the 4 are attitude itself. 12, 13, 16, 17. 4 are attitude themselves. Now, this is the thing driving performance.